Welcome! This is Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy bringing you another Star Citizen video. And today I thought I would go back over last week's Q&A for the Esperia Talon. So if you didn't know, the Esperia Talon is a light fighter that Esperia has reproduced from the Tavaran spaceship line. The Tavaran are an alien race that humanity conquered back in, the 26th century? Something along those lines. And this was one of the ships that the Tavaran used against, anybody that they fought against. The Tavaran are a bird-like species, so their ships really reflect the bird-like aspect. So let's dig into the Q&A a little bit and find out what the developers had to say to questions that you and I and the community have asked and have been voted up on Spectrum. So the first one is, where does the Talon fit within the hierarchy of stealth ships compared to the Eclipse, the Prowler, Saber, and the Raven, and the Hornet Ghost? Their answer was that the Talon was not dedicated to stealth, not like the Eclipse, and it's positioned with the features and stuff that it has. It'll still sit between the Saber and the Ghost as far as the examples that were given. So it's not going to be super stealthy, but it'll be more stealthy than a regular Saber. So that's good to know, because the Saber is supposed to be a stealthy medium fighter. So let's move on to the next question. How aerodynamically capable is the Talon, both in-engine and realistically? Well, the Talon handles better in atmosphere because of the way that the wings are situated, and it has very low weight, so it's very aerodynamic as well. And it's very aerodynamic as well, so it will really cut through the atmosphere. It should maneuver quite well when flying in atmosphere of any of the planets out there. Although with it being light, Microtech may push it around a little bit, kind of like the M50 gets pushed around. Is there an incoming missile mechanic rework that justifies a light fighter with 24 size 3 missiles? So this was the big hoopla on Spectrum and elsewhere. How in the world can a light fighter carry so many size 3 missiles? Is that overkill? Is that, right now the way missiles are, that would kill just about, most ships in the game, that aren't supersized. 24 size 3 missiles is going to do a number on them. So they wanted to know if there's going to be some sort of missile rework that, will justify this. There are plans to not only bug fix and improve missiles and countermeasures in the upcoming patches, but to give a much deeper level of gameplay rather than the current fire and forget approach. They've kind of talked a little bit about this on the roadmap that we went over. They're pushing the missile rework off until the beginning of next year, and there should be some sort of other mechanic where you maybe have to make the missiles do something else. Like you'll have more control over the missile than you currently do. So this may be a little bit more intricate as far as gameplay goes with the future of missiles. As you know, or as you may not know, the Shrike version of the Talon is the one with the 24 size 3 missiles. The base model Talon does not have very many missiles. It's just got the size 4 fixed guns that you can use, it's pretty crazy too. The brochure indicates bespoke weapons. Will we be able to take the gimbals off and put on 2 fixed size 4 guns on the Talon, or fixed size 2s on the Shrike? What weapons components on each model are bespoke and fixed, and which can't be swapped? So pretty much the guns can be swapped out as you like. The Shrike has the size 2 mounts, and the regular Talon has the size 4 mounts. So you could definitely switch anything that's size 4 or size 3 gimbaled on the regular Talon. Anything that's size 2 fixed or size 1 gimbaled will go on the Shrike. As far as the missiles that the Shrike comes with, you cannot change that and swap that out and put it on the regular Talon. You're stuck with that missile configuration, but you can have probably more of the smaller size missiles on there instead of the size 3s. Though 24 size 3s should be able to get the job done, I would think. I don't think you need, what, 48 size 2s or something like that. So, yeah, but they did say you'd be able to swap those out. In terms of maneuverability and agility, where does the Talon fall on the current list of small fighters? So compared to the existing light fighters they have, it currently sits between the Aero and the Gladius in terms of maneuverability, though this could change during implementation. So it is going to be highly maneuverable if it's between the Gladius and the Aero. The Aero is super maneuverable. The Gladius is pretty darn maneuverable, so it's going to be very maneuverable. Now, of course, all this could change when it gets put in the game. I think it's still going to be pretty darn maneuverable, so expect to have a nice, nimble little fighter. Now, it's not going to be able to take a punch because it doesn't have armor. We'll get into that. From the brochure, while unique countermeasures derived from original specs found in Cabal 3 create radar decoy signals to leave aggressors fighting ghosts, does this imply a new type of electronic warfare, or EWAR, that will be coming with the ship, or is it simply flavor text? As mentioned above, they have plans for deeper missile and countermeasure gameplay, which extends to the use of e-warfare. So a few other ships are also planned to utilize similar decoy countermeasures, along with flares, chaffs, including the Prowler and the Vanguard Sentinel. So that is very interesting. I'm very much looking forward to some of the e-warfare and the decoy stuff that you'll be able to fire out. And that will make this thing even more devastating, especially if you have a whole flight of them, a squad of them coming in, and they're launching decoy countermeasures of some kind. It may look like 4 times as many ships. That could be really great going into any kind of combat for the other team to think you are way outnumbering them. The description seems to say it's lightly armored, but the brochure says medium armored. What can we expect? It is lightly armored. I said no armor earlier. It's practically no armor. It's very light, so it's not going to take a hit. You're going to have to be very quick and maneuverable and dodge rounds, because this thing's not going to take a hit once the shields get, I guess, penetrated. Will the Talon or Shrike have a bed? The cockpit escape pod looks like it has space for more than a seat. Does the Talon have any interior space? No, it doesn't have any usable interior space. Doubtful that will change. Is the role of the Shrike intended to be a stealth missile ambusher? If so, how many missiles can it lock and launch simultaneously? The Shrike's role could be described as that, compared to like non-missile focused ships, but it will be able to lock and launch more missiles when the revised missile locking system comes online. So expect it to be able to do that, and expect other ships like the 325A, you're supposed to be able to lock onto multiple ships at one time. We'll have to see how that works. But they did say that the ship's computer can be upgradable via blades, and it'll dedicated missile ships will support more by default. So yeah, if it's a missile boat, you're going to be able to lock on a lot of missiles at one time to multiple opponents, most likely. We'll have to wait and see how all that plays out. They're not there yet. The brochure hints at it having air shield tech. Is this for the interior, for a unique entrance-exit method, or was it just mentioned because it's also a Tavaran ship? It's partially mentioned because it's Tavaran, though the cockpit does seal itself with during injection with the air shield. So it has a little bit of air shield technology. Will the Talon have Phalanx shields on release? Yes, it will, which makes it 100% ballistic absorption and massively increases the hardening ability of the shields, which we haven't really gone into shield hardening. I'm not sure they really have either. So that'll be something very interesting to see in the future, how that all works out and how strong these Phalanx shields really are. Will players have any control over the cockpit after ejection? The ejected cockpit is not controllable like a parasite ship and should be thought more of an escape pod, and if that fires out of the ship for a period of time in a predetermined direction. So it'll fire out, and the rockets will take it away from the ship area, and then those will kick off, and you'll have to turn on your beacon to be found. Will the escape pod functionality be included with the release in December, or will it be added on later? It will be added on later because they don't have that mechanic in just yet. So expect that to be something that happens in the future. They've got the function working, but they don't have it implemented into the game. So yeah, that's something that'll come down the line. How will the Talon differ itself from other fighters? So compared to other light fighters, the Talon splits the difference in firepower between the stock Gladius and the Buccaneer, favoring fewer but larger weapons. Agility-wise, it's between the Gladius and the Arrow. It is often very much user preference between these ships, so it fills a gap in the lineup that promotes choice in game. So I like the way that they put this or worded this. It's between a Gladius and a Buccaneer when it comes to firepower, which is pretty awesome. Both of them have really good firepower. The Buccaneer is slightly OP for what it's doing right now, but I mean it's got a lot of firepower. The Gladius has pretty good flat firepower itself. So this is in between. With two size 4s, maybe it's going to be really good. We'll have to wait and see how it performs. You know, I know that they'll probably balance it out somehow to be between those two ships. Again, that's something we'll have to wait and see. If you had a choice between a Gladius, a Talon, and a Buccaneer, which one are you going to choose? Or even an Arrow, which one are you going to choose in the game? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, I do appreciate all of you guys watching these videos. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you goes out to my Patreon and my YouTube members. Without you guys, this would be much harder to do, but I do thank you guys so much. Thank you very much. If you guys want to become Patreon members or YouTube members, that information will be listed in the description of the video, so please go check that out. You can also support the channel by watching all the ads all the way through, or clicking on the ads and where it takes you to a web page. That certainly helps the channel out as well, as it brings in ad revenue. So thank you to all you guys who are already doing that, and thank you to you guys who will start doing that after watching this video. So again, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, and I'll see you out in the verse.